Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, the Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And we are back. We are live, and we are brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. 7 o'clock on the dot. We're off and running. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond, safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. 40 degrees right now, and the good news is it's not raining.
It's still wet.
It's still wet, yes. Plenty of water in plenty of areas, but the good news is we don't see any forecasted precipitation for today, so everything should be good to go. A lot of action going on right now. This is probably the busiest time of year for the High School Athletic Association because they are balancing a trifecta of things going on. You've got you've got state wrestling, which will get underway today at the Von Braun Center. It'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And something new to state wrestling this year is the girls' state championship will be a part of the field this year. So today, when they get underway, the ladies will also take to the mats, and they will crown a state champion on the individual side as well as the team side for girls state wrestling. So that is something new. And then, of course, all across the state, you have got regional basketball going on. You've got the Northeast Regional at Wallace State Hanceville, or the Northwest Regional at Wallace State Hanceville. And then you got the Northeast Regional going on over at Jack State. The action is tipping off. It tipped off on Tuesday, rolled through yesterday, and it's going to roll on. Remember, several years ago, before they adopted Class 7A, it would be Monday through Saturday pretty much everywhere, and you would have regional action. Now it kind of spreads out over about a week and a half. It starts on Monday, and it'll go all the way through this week and next week in some places. So, I mean, Huntsville High doesn't even start until next week, which is kind of weird that you've got that long off, but that's the way it is.
Really is. It's a great time of year. And as Scott said, there's going to be a lot of regional action, and we're going to have two of our local teams, both the girls and boys of the Hazel Green Trojans. They will be taking the floor today at Wallace State Hanceville. Also, the Mae Jemison Jaguars, the boys squad under Coach Pete Miller. We're going to have Pete on in the second hour, but we're about to have our first guest on because they've got a busy schedule today. They are going to have a shoot around in just a few minutes as they prepare for a huge test tonight. They play the last game of the day, Scott, at Wallace State Hanceville at 7:30 p.m. tonight. They will take on a very talented Clay Chalkville Cougar squad. This will be the first time we've caught up with our next guest since before the Huntsville City Classic, which seems like 2 weeks ago. But we all know the season goes by so quickly, as you told the listeners. And we're going to catch up with the seventh-year head coach of the Hazel Green Trojans, Jeremy Crutcher, who's been kind enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, if you're talking to us, this is the best time of year because you're still rolling. How you doing?
I can't. You went out on me, Drew. But
okay,
thanks,
have you got us now?
I'm back now. I
Okay.
appreciate you
Okay,
guys having me
good.
on.
We're still working out the kinks in the
Yep,
new spot,
yep.
man. But hey, if you're talking to us at 7:00 in the morning in February, it means you're rolling and you still going, and you guys are in the Sweet 16 tonight. I know you're super excited. What's going on, Coach?
Absolutely. Good morning, guys. Thanks for having us. And yeah, absolutely. We're excited. Grateful for the opportunity. And, we're going to go play tonight and do our best to give our best shot and look to move on if we can.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations on winning the area championship this year just to get to this point.
Very tough area.
Yeah,
Coach.
we all know that area. Buckhorn, the two-time defending state champions, part of that area. Patrick Harding does a great job with his squad. So, I mean, to come out on top this year in the area, it's a heck of an accomplishment.
It was great for us. Very proud of our team. Very, very tough area. And I think this year our goal was just to not lose an area game at home. And that really helped us out. We got the 4 at home, and then we're able to split, with the 2 other best teams and put ourselves in position for a coin flip. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to, but it went in our favor. So we took advantage of it.
You certainly did, and you were able to move on and win the 6A Area 16 championship. I believe that's the 3rd in your tenure at Hazel Green, and it's also key because we try to explain to the listeners 7A does not have sub-regional play, but 1 through 6A does, and so when you're winning that area tournament, you're also wanting to continue to have home court advantage for that sub-regional round to get to this point.
Absolutely. We went into the area championship just, wanting to play again at home for the sub-regional game. And so, that game, what people don't realize is the hardest, probably. That sub-regional game where you're back into an elimination game and you're playing, a team that you may not have seen all year. And you've got officials coming in from different areas and, it's not a normal rivalry type game of a local team. So the crowd may not be what you intend for it to be. So it's a very, very tough game. We had Hartsville this year. They're young, well coached, played great, and we were able to come up with that win as well. But being at home was a huge factor.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, let's talk about the season for you. Where do you think this team has grown the most in from the beginning?
I would say probably growing together. These guys are very unselfish. It's something we preached from the get-go, was trying to just grow together, not care about statistics, individual accolades, things of that nature, but instead just try to become the best version of themselves as a team, build as much chemistry as we could. And so, off the court, they hang out all the time. They're always together. They care about each other a lot. And so that's probably the best area we've grown. And then we've gotten a lot better. We've got a lot of kids that have just really gained varsity experience this year. And a lot of them just really took advantage of their role, and a lot of them are starring in their role. And when you do that, you have multiple people starring in their role. It gives you a chance as a team. So I really love the group, really love the chemistry. They're great to be around. They're fun kids. They're great kids, great in the classroom, great off the court. And we haven't had any issues like that. So just proud of the group.
Well, and watching you guys, especially the 6A Area 16 championship game against Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison, of course, had knocked out the 2-time state champion Buckhorn Bucks, so they came in playing very well. It was a very tight game at halftime, but I thought the job you and your staff did and the adjustments you made and the defense that you guys played in that second half was tremendous because Mae Jemison is a very explosive offensive team. I mean, we saw that when they went on the road in sub-regional play. We know what kind of caliber of coach Neil Barker is, and they blow out Muscle Shoals on the road. But you guys, I'm just gonna make an observation. I thought potentially it may have been the best defensive half of basketball that y'all played, which is at the right time to win that championship. And I'll get your thoughts on that.
No, absolutely. Probably the best half of defensive basketball we played. played pretty well in the Hartsville game as well. But our guys being locked in and focused on the details that we had prepped all week, and then, really understanding what players were going to be the guys to score for them, and then trying to take those guys out of the game or take them out of position to get baskets. Our guys did a great job of that. We played a lot of zone in that game.
Right.
Zone has not typically been, something we've done, but they bought into it, and we worked on it, 3 or 4 days continuously, and they really, understood what we needed to do. And by the end, they were making their own adjustments. A guy may hit a shot this possession, and we're like, hey, y'all need to fix that. And they're already discussing what it was that, allowed a guy to get open for a shot, a key guy at that. DK, I think he got open in the third quarter, and we just kind of, hey, guys, we need to fix that. And they were already discussing it. So, a lot of things came into play in that game, and they really showed a great effort and great chemistry and great, team impact that second half.
Well, let's talk about today. You get a Clay Chalkville team, and lots of times when you get to regional play, you don't know the time that you're going to play. Times are a little wonky. Sometimes you're going to play at 10:30. Sometimes you may play at noon. But this one, you get Clay Chalkville, and I tell you, if you want to be normal and have a normal routine, you could not ask for a better tip-off time to be 7:30 tonight against Clay Chalkville.
Absolutely. I mean, that's when I saw the time. It didn't bother me at all. It's tough when you got students and other sporting events and kids practicing and things like that to have a crowd. But I'm one of those routine guys, and when I saw 7:30, I was like, hey, that's perfect schedule for us. We can do shoot around. Guys can go to class. We can get out at a certain time. We can have pregame. We can leave at a time we're accustomed to leaving. And
Okay, Coach, kind of breaking up on us there a little bit.
Yeah, we're losing a little bit. Yeah, we got you back, Coach.
Did you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
And you were talking about the routine, no doubt that it really kept your guys in the same mindset.
Absolutely, that routine helps us big time. I'm one that doesn't like a lot of change, and my team is kind of that way. It's worked out for us, so we've got the similar routine. We'll get down there, we'll watch the girls' game, and then we'll jump on the floor, get loose, and be ready to play.
Well, and then talk about Clay. I saw them earlier this year against Huntsville High. They at one time, I think they were ranked number 1 in 6A. So the matchups for yourself and Mae Jemison, Pinson Valley for them, Clay for you, very, very athletic squads, teams that are used to postseason success. I know Clay had a really good team last year as well. But talk about that challenge of facing Clay. I mean, your team's athletic, very long as well, but this should be an interesting matchup, Coach.
Very interesting matchup. I actually kind of like the matchup. They're very athletic. They're very well coached. They're a tough team. They made it. They've got some postseason experience from last year. They're an older group. They got experience. Several seniors are their best guys. So we like the opportunity. We like the matchup. They do some really good things. They're going to press you. They're going to try to get out in transition. And like I said, a very athletic group. And he plays a lot of guys. So we're excited about it. And like you said, they were at one point number 1 in 6A. I think preseason pick number 1. And so that's all kind of bulletin board material for our guys. And we tell them all these things to just kind of put that chip on their shoulder and be ready to go in here and compete.
What's that big key then today to get to advance to the regional finals?
For us, the biggest key is probably settling in as quick as we can, and then maintaining composure throughout the game. Being in this type of environment, we don't have any guy that's been there. So getting them to understand that. Now, we played in several environments this year that have kind of given that feel, but now you're growing in the postseason, and it's an elimination game. So I think those two keys for us, settling in as quick as we can, and then throughout the game, maintaining composure. But then again, defensively, transition defense got, been a big focus today, for tonight. And then offensively, taking great shots, taking care of the ball. Those have been our two primary focus points on each side of the ball.
And speaking of getting a lot better, the thing that it struck me, just especially watching the way he attacked the rim on offense and then helped you guys with his length in the zone. And he's also an experienced guy that where he's played, he's had postseason success at Sparkman and at Madison Academy. But, Khalil Green, who's an outstanding athlete. I know his father, when he played at Butler High School, he was an outstanding athlete. But he is, I think, settled in nicely with your guys, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Khalil is a great kid, number one. And then he's a great, great athlete as well. And like you said, he is the lone guy that we've had, that we have on our roster that's been to this point in the postseason. He's poised. He's never rattled. He's very confident in his ability, and he's very unselfish. So he's been great this week. Great 2 to 3 practices the last few days. And he just really, the biggest thing, he pours confidence in the other guys, really to everybody. He's a confident, great confidence in himself. And so we've been really leaning on him the last couple of days, and we hope today he has, one of his best games of the year. The kid has been great all year. He's actually signed yesterday, and he's going to Carson Newman to play football.
Awesome.
But he's been to this point, and we're going to lean on him tonight.
Did you guys get any work in on the bigger court?
No, we haven't. We hadn't gotten around. I was going to contact maybe A&M or somebody like that, but we hadn't been out on a bigger court. But I think sticking to that routine, like I said, I didn't want to do anything different. I just want to keep it as normal as we can. And if we can get out on the floor early tonight and get some shots up, I think our guys they'll be okay.
And then finally, I've got to ask about 2 of your guys that I was so happy for that as you guys salted away the area championship, and then of course went on to a few days later beat Hartselle and get to this point. But they're both you guys. One will be back next year, I believe. And I thought he was MVP. I thought his shot making ability and his just stepping up and making big plays to help you guys separate against May Jemison. I thought Legend Martin, who's grown physically, by the way, growing, and then also his confidence that he played with. And then I thought your big guy, Nate Butterfield, I thought he played exceptionally well. And he had to, because May Jemson's got a lot of size and physicality inside. But I thought Butterfield and Legend Martin both played great for you, Coach, to win that area title.
Absolutely. Legend has been steady all year, and as of late, he's gotten better and better and better. And that's been the key. I think maybe the last 10 games, he may be averaging 16, 17 a game.
Yep.
He was huge in the area tournament average. It was right at a double-double almost. Shot over 60% from 3. Shot over 50 from the floor. And he's really tasked to guard the other team's best player just about every night. So he's been, mentally there. And when you're mentally in position to handle whatever coach is asking you, then you're in a good spot. So very proud of him. And we do get him back next year. So we're excited about that. He's one of our captains. He's one of the leaders for our squad. Done a great job all year. So proud of Legend. And I know tonight he'll be prepared. Coming off a little sickness, but he'll be prepared tonight and ready to go. And then, like you said, Nate Butterfield, Nate is a guy that all along we knew at some point would hit that stride. And I think the last about 8 to 10 games for him as well, he's averaging double-figure points and about 6, 7 rebounds a game, playing big in the big moments. So we're proud of Nate as well. He's looking at some collegiate stuff, and we're trying to focus and finish the season before we really dive into it. But I think he's got a chance to play in college. Really, still a lot of upside with him. His dad played in Missouri, and I think he still may grow some, and his game will still evolve. He's been a big for us, but probably will be more of a wing, small forward in college. So proud of both of those guys. Really proud of our whole team. I think Austin Nance as well.
Yes.
Our point guard. He'll be back as well. He's been huge. He was huge in the Jemison game as well. Just some big time plays at the right time and maintain composure. The biggest thing with him is He's wanted the ball late in games. When it's time for teams to foul, he's shooting above 83% from the free throw line. So having him back as well next year is going to be really good for our program, our team, and we're excited.
Well, we certainly are excited for y'all, and we appreciate the time. I know you guys are about to take the floor and get that shoot around going and finish preparation for Clay Chalkville. Super opportunity for your program. These kids have grown a ton this year. You and your staff done a great job. Tim Miller trying to win 8 in a row now. I mean, what an accomplishment for him. But it's going to be a great day, hopefully, for Hazel Green High School. We certainly appreciate you getting up early this morning and before finishing preparation, getting on with us and talking some Trojans. But thank you, Coach, and good luck to you tonight, sir.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Drew. I really appreciate it, guys. You do a great job.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck to you. Let's get a break in. Talking Ball continues. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got fire and rescue and Himsey on the scene of that wreck. 565 eastbound right at Glen Hearn. That's Huntsville International Airport exit. That one apparently is going to have a minor injury involved. They're pushing all the traffic over to the far right side of the road to get around that one. We got one at 72 and I-65 in Athens. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. Ask about their military, law enforcement, and senior discounts. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talent Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256-503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's talenthvac.com. No ID required.
That's Talent Heating and Air, keeping your Valentine's extra warm with love, courtesy of Talent Heating and Air.
Oh, yeah.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Corralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Corralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready for when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
AlDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the AlGo app and through local media. Brought to you by AlDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
We are your home for March Madness.
In the corner, James, right corner three, got it. Oh,
it's a Tennessee blitz. The Volunteers dominating the Creighton Blue Jays in the second half.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 7:24 on a Thursday morning. So yesterday you told me, and you told the listeners, for your disdain towards Carl Ravitch.
Yeah, it was awful.
Okay, so
awful.
So anyway, I don't know if everybody was listening to the Alabama-Texas game or not.
Well, I listened to the last 10 minutes, and
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't have to listen to the other 30 because it was bad.
Well, he put his foot in his mouth.
Slightly.
And yesterday he tried to
Crawfish?
apologize
Okay.
and crawl back from
I
it.
got you.
But listen, this is what Carl Ravitch said during the Alabama-Texas game.
Yeah.
So think about it. We know how dominant they were in the non-conference season, the SEC. They were 185-23. Since January 4 into Tuesday, the SEC teams are 82-82. It's not as if one team or two teams or three. They're 82-82. Like, there's been no ability to pull away. There's no dominant group of teams.
They're 82-82 in conference play.
Because somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. I'm sorry. But he's on the list early for Moron of the Year for saying something that stupid. I was going to even say, hey, Scott, when you see Mick this weekend, can you ask him what the record is of the Gulf South Conference and conference play starting? Even though the Chargers are undefeated in conference play, we're not trying to jinx anything here.
No.
And by the way, I'll say even this, they'll see the Chargers tonight. I mean, the Chargers are at home, correct?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could ask Mick, what's the Gulf South Conference record since December when conference play started?
So the SEC is yet to pull. They've not had the ability
to
separate themselves. They're 82-82.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sitting there listening to that, and then, of course, you would have enjoyed their food tirade because they were
right.
The game was a beatdown, so they were talking about the food in the press room.
So Carl Ravitch then yesterday, tries to not defend, but to apologize for his comments by saying 4 hours after landing and reading all the responses, it is overwhelming. How
stupid I am.
I will heed the advice of my ex-friends and take the L. My bad, my mistake. Always appreciate the feedback and grateful for the audience. A bunch of huge games left. Let's enjoy them.
Without you calling them. Let him do the halftime show. Seth Greenberg, what did you see out there? Instead of having the less he says, the better. Because he's on the verge of ruining the College World Series because he does that too, and he's pathetically bad at it. It's called get Boog Shambi out the radio and get him behind a friggin' microphone and on television because he actually knows what a baseball looks like and can actually talk about it and do play-by-play, for crying out loud.
Well, that prompted a lot of other people to put out their conference records.
Of course.
The A-Sun, by the way, is 72-72.
Oh, well, I would expect that. They don't have ties in basketball, fellas.
The Big 12 is 102-102.
Really?
Yeah.
But hey, he had good brisket. We know that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Carl Ravitch.
Oh, it was. And then in between that, you got to listen to Jimmy Dykes trying to get Nate Oates hired somewhere else since they're beating the hell out of Kentucky and Arkansas, and he can't stand it considering he coached at both those places. And again, Jimmy's been on this show, and he's done a solid job at ESPN. But I mean, listening to, Alabama, the athletic directors were calling last year, and they had to hold them off for Nate Oates, and they'll be calling again. They better be doing everything. They're building a $50 million practice facility. They've stepped up the NIL. He has one of the most talented rosters in college basketball. He's turned down Kentucky. He's turned down Michigan twice. He's turned down He's not tried to go anywhere, Jimmy. for a reason.
All right, 7:29. Let's get a break in.
I know you're probably bitter because he turned down Kentucky, and yes, he did, Jeff. But I mean, again, he would have been right in the mix there. They did call, but come on, brother. I mean, come on, Jimmy. Let's talk about how good Alabama is.
In today's landscape, with the NIL and the way other programs work, do you think schools can keep coaches longer now than what they used to be able to?
If they step up the NIL and if they step up facility-wise and give coaches what they need, yes. I mean, because look what Connecticut did, because absolutely Kentucky came after Dan Hurley as well, and he stayed.
Because back in the day,
national championships.
You would take, if Kentucky called, if Duke called, North Carolina, Michigan State, let's just go. I mean, because they were in there. I'm just trying to think of Kansas. If any one of those schools called, you would definitely look at it and you would take it because, number one, you would be guaranteed a big pay raise. Number two, some of the best facilities in the country. And number three, you knew they would support basketball.
Well, Greg Sankey, you got to give him a lot of credit. He stepped it up in basketball. He's demanding.
Well, the SEC in a whole, though, right?
Yeah. That's what Nate Oates has said. The nutrition,
everything,
the NIL, the facilities, the taking care of your players, giving them every resource that they need. That's why the SEC has stepped it up so much. And
so now,
got great coaches.
You look in the conference: Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Florida. I'm probably going to leave some out, but those jobs are facility-wise, money-wise, ability-wise. They're just as good now as any other job in the country, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, now Kentucky is still, they got the most tradition and the best fan base and most.
Yeah, not taking that away.
No,
right.
they have. The deepest pockets basketball wise, but there's others that are close enough. And if your family's happy where they are and you feel like you can win a national championship, you're more apt to stay there and not, so I think, and Kentucky has, they had a deep pool. They could have waited on Billy Donovan. They didn't. They went and got Mark Pope, and it looks like that was an outstanding move as well. So it's why the SEC is the deepest league in the country, because they have deep financial pockets and they have put an emphasis on being good in basketball, while the ACC signed a stupid grant and rights deal. And and the conference started changing, and then NIL drove Roy Williams into retirement. Coach K, Tony Bennett. There's been some really good coaches leave that league, and so they're going through some transition right now.
All right, we've got to get a break in. Get back, phone lines, and a lot of other good stuff coming your way. It's Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy and overcast sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. We're also going to spend the afternoon dry. What a nice change of pace across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to be cooler, though. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks could see the lower 50s. It's going to be a cold night across the area. We're dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got fire and rescue and Himsey on the scene of that wreck. 565 eastbound right at Glen Hearn. That's Huntsville International Airport exit. That one apparently is going to have a minor injury involved. They're pushing all the traffic over to the far right side of the road to get around that one. We got one at 72 and I-65 in Athens. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. Ask about their military, law enforcement, and senior discounts. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready for when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
AlDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the Algo app and through local media. Brought to you by AlDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue. Cooked slow, served fast.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
All right, let's get weird. Welcome into the Talkin' Ball. That is now made up of 2/3 of the show is made up of the Blitz. As Scott,
the Talking Ball Blitz.
The Talking Ball Blitz.
Yeah, some people think I blitz a lot.
Yeah.
Especially Carl Ravitch.
Well, I mean, look, he's partially right and partially wrong, and at least he's 50-50.
Well,
like the league.
I would hope so. I mean, that brisket must have been good. Maybe they had some whiskey in the drink. I don't know.
I also didn't know that everybody else disliked him on the College World Series broadcast.
Oh, it's awful.
I never knew, because I don't like him at all on it. And I mean, I'm watching every single second of that thing, but I just thought it was me.
Well, I mean, it's he and Chris Berman both. Like, Berman is one of the all-time great, like, studio hosts. Like, I mean, I grew up watching him do pre and post NFL. He and Tom Jackson are the GOATs when it comes to, NFL prime time and highlights and things of that nature. And, he did a great job in studio. He always did a great job running the draft.
Yes.
I mean, Greenberg is now taking that over, but Berman was so good at it. He had a great rapport with the coaches. He knew how to set Mel Kiper up. I mean, it was so good. But then he would do these home run derbies and these baseball games, and it was just awful. I mean, no rhythm. This is not John Miller we're listening to, people.
And I also didn't remember how much I would miss John Miller and Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
Until we started getting an Instagram and people started posting videos of like the old intros and everything, like in the early 2000s and 90s. Man. I'm like, man, that was poetry.
Sunday night baseball.
Yes, absolutely on that. So he is Drew DeArmond. I am Joe Hunk. John Abraham's back there taking your phone calls at 256-576-4256. 4977. You didn't have to do it. We don't start that till 9 o'clock, but we do have phone calls. So let's go ahead and get to that. Bama Bino is going to be first up on Talking Ball, man. How's it going?
What's up, Bama Bino?
Hey guys, great show.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. A lot of Sand Mountain teams winning now. And I know the Fife boys took an L yesterday, but Geraldine had some success, and North Sand Mountain ladies. I mean, they in Sylvania, you got some people rolling still.
Yeah, I've been hearing they're doing good. I just hadn't personally went to any games lately.
Yes, sir.
Because the Milligan boys, the last of my generation's kids, they were even young for my generation. But the Milligan boys, they're one of them's getting married. He's working at in Decatur at that steel thing. He's an engineer for an electrical engineer, and the other one's finishing up. That's Caden, and Cole is at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Caden's
a genius, by the way. I'm not surprised he's an engineer.
Yeah, he's an electrical engineer for Nucor.
There you go. And just for example, for what Bama Bino's talking about there, Joe, Caden Milliken, who we had on this show, is literally, and Bama Bino can confirm this, he is the Jimmy Chitwood of Plainview.
Oh, now I'm in. That's all I had to say. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, he made two shots, not one, two shots to win back-to-back state championships.
3-pointer and a backdoor Belmont.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And,
saw them both.
But anyway, those guys, and his dad runs the pharmacy at Walgreens in Gunnersville. And Chris, and I played my last high school football game against Chris in 80. God, get me lying, 6 or 7. They Pisgah beat Sylvania in the playoff, and I was playing right corner, and if I switched left corner, Chris would throw to the left side. Right side, he'd throw opposite because he watched film. But anyway, that 82 to 82 was moronic, but I'll tell you, it answered a long-standing mystery. Now we know where Kamala Harris got her word salad from. That was her coach on public speaking, I guess. That guy you was talking about on the 82 analogy of comparing apples to apples in the conference record. So, I don't know how moronic you can be, but you're going to be the same. It's got to equal out, but I guess he just had to talk or something.
And what's bad is I and Scott and Steve and everybody and Drew during like all football season, everything, we continue to research all these stats because we want to find something that nobody else has found or something that we could, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we all do this. Like, basically everybody here at the radio station does some sort of play-by-play or color analyst stuff. And you're wanting to find that information and you're like, and then you look it up and you go, wait a second, this is supposed to be, Jay Billis just said this is the greatest conference in college basketball history. They're 500. What is he talking about? Let me write that down real fast. And I know that was probably what was going through his mind is, maybe this conference isn't as good as what everybody's saying it is. And
you're supposed to compare conference against non-conference. You got to, love you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
No, but seriously, and that was a kind of a cool where are they now? Because Caden Milliken could have played college basketball. He had offers, but he had about a 35 ACT, Joe.
See, and that's like with Bellamy over at
I call
Huntsville.
him Dr. Bellamy, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what you should be because whenever you're going to like a Huntsville game, even over the next couple of days as Huntsville's playing, if he's not on the bench, it's because he's over visiting like an Ivy League school or like one of these.
He's going to Harding in Arkansas, but on a full academic ride, as you would expect when you make a 35 on your ACT.
Yes. It's a 35. I struggled to get a 24 on my ACT.
I had a 23, by the way, so I was nowhere near that. I mean, but see, the thing is, that's another underrated part of the Huntsville High program. Like, they're starting 5. The average ACT score is like a 32.
Yes.
I mean, it's insane.
It is absolutely insane. And so you're talking about he could have went and played, but he also had a 35 on his ACT.
Yeah, and by the way, a shout out to Eli Stapler. He's going to Lee, as we know, the Lee Flames in the Gulf South, and he wants to go into medical school as well. So he only scored a 32, I think, or 33. May have scored Larry Bird. It was one of those two. But
How does
I know
it feel to be the dumbest kid on the team?
I know.
Scoring a 32.
I am a bookkeeper, dog. I just enjoy watching them play, man.
No, and I said this during the broadcast of the area championship. I said I say that all of the guys that are on the starting five are D1 players, and it's like, well, Eli's going D2. I was like, I still say that with his growth, he could eventually transfer to D1.
Well, that's the great thing. He can bounce up.
Yes, because he's still continuing to get good. Like it is, he's one of the guys that you would, as good of a basketball player as he is, if you're coming to see somebody else on the team, you will then also notice him.
Yeah.
Is how it was. So that's him, as well as the player you were just talking about that could have went to college and played basketball and said he had a 35 on his ACT. We've got more phone calls as well that we're going to continue getting to on Talking Ball, because coming up next hour, who are we going to be joined by?
Pete Miller.
Yes.
And let me correct myself. It'll be at 8 o'clock, 8:01 a.m. We're going to talk to Pete at the top of the second hour because he's busy finishing preparation for their Pinson Valley Indians matchup. But we're going to talk to Pete. And we're going to talk. He's in his first year. He was a 5-year assistant, really, with Huntsville High. Coached the freshman team last year, but was able to make that jump and get the ed coaching opportunity on the north side there at May Jemison, a program with a lot of tradition. Used to be, of course, formerly Johnson High School in Butler. They combined. They've already won a couple of state championships under the legendary Jack Dawes, who, of course, now is at Grissom. Pete Miller trying to get them back to the Final Four for the first time since the Coach Dawes era. Howard Pride certainly had an outstanding couple of teams there, but they fell a little short in sub-regional play. But in those days, just about 5-6 years ago, the 6A regionals and sub-regionals were brutality. They were tougher than getting to Birmingham. But Pete Miller getting a great opportunity. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. And I know when we come back from break, though, we are going to get back to the phone line.
Yes, we have those wide open. So we have one line available, 256-576-4977, as we continue on this Thursday on Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eastbound traffic on 565's backed all the way back past Greenbrier now. They're pushing all the traffic over onto the right side of the road. That one reported with injury, but it looks like the fire department and Hemsey have left there. They are working it, though, in that left lane as you approach Glen Hearn. Had one in Athens, 72, and I-65 that should be about ready to clear. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. we show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talon Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256-503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's talenthvac.com. No ID required.
That's Talent Heating and Air. Keeping your Valentine's extra warm with love. Courtesy of Talent Heating and Air.
Oh, yeah.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Talking Ball in 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Pete Miller's going to be coming up at 8 o'clock. As you can listen there, as Mae Jemison's getting ready for their next game. We'll talk to him about that, but phone lines are wide open to you for the next few minutes before we get to him. And Coach Miller, 256-576-4977. As we continue, let's go. Richard, welcome in to Talking Ball, man. How's it going?
What's up, Richard?
Hey.
Hey, man. What's
How are
going
you
on?
guys?
We're doing good.
Hey, not much. You're talking about Jimmy Dykes. You do know where his daughter goes to school now, don't you?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Of course.
So I think she's a cheerleader there. So
Well, I have to be a little less, I have to be somewhat diplomatic in the studio this morning because Joe is a Tennessee fan, so I can't sit here and say everything that I always say.
No, you can absolutely. Trust me, you're not going to say anything worse than
And I
what I've
do
heard
like
from
Rick
Jeff in the last
Barnes,
week.
but
that just
Tony
means you guys
Vitello
are-
makes my skin crawl, and then of course I hate Philip Fulmer and
you
Josh
were
Allen.
talking about a 35 ACT. So if she went to Tennessee, she doesn't have a 35 on the ACT. So at least
Well.
you do know that. So
Yeah.
anyway, you're talking about Carl Ravitch. Archie Miller fell for the same thing.
I saw his stupid quote too. I was like, Archie, what are you doing, dude? Like, how can you read that?
Those are the guy that used to be the Crimson Chaos, president. Sent out tweets about the SEC, being 500, and Archie fell for it. So
Yeah, he's bouncing back at Rhode Island.
tell you one, and he's from Athens, but listen, I was watching. I think it was the Ole Miss South Carolina game, and I wanted South Carolina to win, but I was kind of reading and listening to the game and didn't hear anything stupid, just giving out good facts. Then I'm playing on my phone and I realize Richard Hendricks is doing the color.
Yep.
If he does such a good job, you're just you're watching the game, but just hearing good, general, normal information, nothing stupid.
Mm-hmm. And not having Jimmy Dykes try to get NATO tired away. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, he's talking about the game.
Yeah,
instead
exactly.
of food and all these other things. He's actually giving you information of what's going on. On the game, and like I said, I was just kind of watching and and listening, and like I said, didn't hear anything dumb, just good information. Then you realize, it's Richard Hendricks doing the color.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
he's not promoting himself.
No, and Richard is already better than Jimmy Dykes.
And Richard doesn't have to promote himself. Like he is so good at.
He is rising so quickly.
Yep.
I mean, he just does an outstanding job.
And off the air as well. He's such an amazing person. Like so humble, so
absolutely.
good. Like he's such a good guy.
from a great
I tell
family.
you what, did you guys watch the game at all? They showed some pictures of him from the McDonald's All-American game.
2005, baby. Yeah, there you go.
Tell you what, talk about the SEC. I mean, it's wild is you got 4 teams that could win the national championship.
I think I think that's legitimately possible. I mean, you got Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida.
Florida continues to play like they have.
Even and Kentucky's even dangerous. So I think the problem with them, Lamont and Butler's hurt, and then defensively they're not really good. So I'm not sure they can put 6 in a row.
Right.
But they can certainly be a pain in the butt. Hey, but the one to not forget about is Texas A&M. I think they're a team that's very capable, Richard.
I tell you what, I just don't like Taylor. I mean, to me, it's just like, Buzz, when they get the rebound, but it's just, I mean, let's shoot 30% from the field and, and get away with it, where most people would get pulled. And he gets fouled a lot. He's good at flopping, but it's just, his shooting percentage is just not that good.
Right. But I will say this, he's got gonads because he made the big shot against Missouri to win a big
After he
to win a
taken
road
like
game.
3 terrible shots,
Yeah.
two or three times down before, he just threw up like 40-footers. So,
But I agree. I do think there is 4 teams though in the SEC, and the funny thing is that's 4 of your top 6 basically right now.
Tell you what, if they're healthy, I mean, Florida might have a better chance than Alabama or Auburn, even if they're healthy.
Yeah, I hope they can get Condon back really quickly, and he's moved into the first round of a lot of mock drafts, even though everybody knows how much I love him. But I mean, he's his stock for the Australian is going up and up.
Yeah, I mean they're tough with their size and with Clayton. I mean, they're tough to beat.
Oh, when Walter Clayton's healthy, again, all Auburn fans saw that.
Lord.
When he's healthy, that is a different Florida team.
And then look, man, I had to fix my stupidity the other day when I was telling everybody I apologize because I don't know why the hell I left Dan Hurley out of my top 5 coaches, but I corrected that. But I still have my number 1 overall coach in college basketball being the venerable Rick Pitino, because guess what? He found Walter Clayton and had him at Iona, and he played against Alabama in the NCAA tournament.
Tell you what, when Rick was at Kentucky, there's nobody I feared more. When Alabama would play them, you knew you had no chance.
Right. I mean, his preparation, and I knew that Alabama Iona game would be very dangerous with Herb Jones and them, because I was like, oh Lord, he may have a mid-major roster.
Last night, though.
I know he lost. Villanova got him. I mean, this is not Jay Wright's Villanova, but it's still Villanova. But Rick is a very dangerous coach. There's nobody that prepares better. People forget what he did with Jamal Mashburn. He signed Mashburn when he was overweight, and then reshaped Mashburn into one of the greatest SEC players ever. So
that's one people doesn't mention. But I mean, Mashburn could hit a 3, he could dunk, he could take it to the hole. I mean,
I'm going to say something, man. Mashburn, you could argue. I know they didn't win a national championship. I know he wasn't on the 96 team or 97, 98. But I think Mashburn is one of the top 2 to 3 SEC players of the last 30 years.
I mean, he was unstoppable at Kentucky. I mean, they were loaded, most of the time too, but still, he was good.
Oh, tremendous.
But like I said, Rick had some talent, and then he pressed the whole time. I mean, you couldn't even take a breath.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Rick's had his share of McDonald's All-Americans, but he's also, because he came up at Providence where he wasn't getting those kind of players, he reminds me, he and Nate Oates remind me of each other. They're very good talent evaluators and very good in player development, Richard.
Yeah, because I mean, they're not. It's not. I mean, if they could shoot a 3 right now, they would be one of the favorites for the championship. They just basically can't throw it in the ocean.
Yeah, no doubt.
Outside, but they're a tough team there. So I hope to see you down there Saturday, then, Drew.
Yes, sir. You'll see me. Thank you, sir.
See you.
All right, that does it for our number 1. Is coming up next, Pete Miller, head coach of Mae Jemison, getting ready for their next game. We'll be talking to him. Then back to the phone lines, 256-577-64977. I also appreciate Moulton hopping in to throw the 4 in the chat as we got it going on right now on Facebook, YouTube, as well as X. We'll be back in a few minutes with Coach Miller, Mae Jemison on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College basketball today. North Alabama, 8.5-point favorites against North Florida at Flowers Hall, where the total is 165.5. Jacksonville State laying 1.5 at Sam Houston, 142.5 the total at Johnson Coliseum. South Alabama, 4.5-point home favorites with Marshall, the total 138.5. Chase Briscoe on the pole for the 67th running of the Daytona 500, 182.745 miles an hour. Briscoe 22-1 to win the Great American Race. Austin Sidrig starts on row 1. He's 25-1. Kyle Busch is the race favorite at 9-1. For more, go to vsin.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Just like Carl Ravitch, you're 50% right.
Oh, boy.
As he is Drew DeArmond, I am Joe Hogg, filling in for Scott, who is down at the BBC doing a little bit of PA work for wrestling, as that's going to be going on throughout the next few days here in Huntsville. As the ice, now this is where arena crews are extremely important, because you have wrestling going on right now at the BBC. And I believe that's in the VBC arena, if I remember correctly. And then they've got to totally flip that over, because coming up on Sunday night at 5:00, the Havoc are going to be back in action, back at the VBC for sellout number 37 in a row. Wow. For Huntsville. So you'll be able to hear that on the Havoc Zone. Make sure that you download 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Also tonight, UAH basketball is going to be taking place as the number 4 team in the country welcomes in Christian Brothers tonight to Spraggins Hall. You'll be able to hear that over on the Charger Zone. But let's talk a little bit more basketball, but a little bit a layer down where we're talking some high school tournament action.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, right now, with what he's accomplished in year one, there's no one I'm happier for and more proud of than our next guest. We of course caught up with him before his team played in his first Huntsville City Classic as a head coach. They certainly acquitted themselves well, but they're playing now, and they're playing their best basketball at the best time. Now, as a player, he played in 3 Final Fours. He won a state championship at Sumter County High School. This is now Sumter Central. But he spent 5 years under Christian Swears, evolving and developing as a coach. He's always done a great job with grassroots basketball, but now he has taken over the program with the Mae Jemison Jaguars, a program that has had success since they merged with Johnson and Butler joining forces. But he's done an outstanding job in year one, taking over this roster, completely turning it around from a standpoint of the culture and their postseason success. They will play at 4:30 late this afternoon against the Pinson Valley Indians in the Sweet 16. And, of course, we're talking about Pete Miller, and he is the head coach of the Mae Jemison Jaguars. He's been kind enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you're with Drew and Joe Hunk. How are you this morning, sir?
Good. How about yourself, Drew? Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, no doubt, Pete. And I know, look, you've been along on a lot of these journeys with Huntsville High. They got to the point where this program has been built that they were used to this and used to this success. you've been able to take that blueprint and have a lot of success in year one with Mae Jemison. And quite frankly, probably my proudest moment of, and I didn't get a chance to see the game, watch the film, but obviously your kids responded like champions after that tough second half that I did watch over at Hazel Green in the area championship game. What a performance to go on the road to face a coach like Neil Barker in a program like that. And you've seen Huntsville compete against Muscle Shoals. Very tough matchup, but what a performance on the road by your kids for 32 minutes.
And yes, that was probably one of our best games of the year as far as the guys being mentally locked in, mentally focused, and understanding the challenge and task at hand.
Absolutely. And how did you guys approach it? Because again, it had to be kind of gut wrenching because you guys, first of all, beat a great Buckhorn squad, even without Caleb Holt, a team we saw make the Huntsville City Classic Championship. Joe watched them. We all watched them make more threes and it beat a Fairfield team by 50 and shoot the ball as well as any we've seen. After a coin flip like that, you guys, it was basically a three-way dance in your area. But Hazel Green wins the coin flip. You have to play Buckhorn. You play a really good basketball game against them, knock them out in a one and done game. Then you play Hazel Green. It's right there for you at halftime. It doesn't go your way. How were you and your staff able to get the kids locked back in and understand that it was kind of a mulligan. You got to go on the road, but you've still got an opportunity with all your goals in front of you.
And that's what we've been preaching all season long from the time we got there in June. Everything that we're going to do is going to prepare us for playoff basketball when games really, really matter. Mm-hmm. And that was the mindset going in, guys understanding can't get it back all at one time, just got to win one possession at a time. You got to go in and play with some grit like you never played with before.
Mm.
No, and one of the players that I was really curious about with you, Coach, was TJ Pruitt. And, the fact that, as he continues to go throughout the year, he's continuing to play harder. And I think that for a lot of these kids, continuing to get more and more offers. And I think a lot of people in the state is kind of paying attention to him. What do you think? And what have you seen from him as he's continued to kind of grow throughout the season?
Different mentality and the way that the kid is really bought in. Not only the way that he's bought in, but he's a big reason that our team is becoming a player-led team. But one of the biggest reasons that our team is becoming a player-led team. He's been a great locker room guy. He's been pushing the guys, motivating them, and he has a mentality and has helped our other guys develop a mentality of refusing to lose. That was our thing going into the Muscle Shoals game. We didn't just want those guys to go in there and try to win their game. We wanted our guys to go in there and refuse to lose.
Yeah, and there's no question, and it had to be emotional for him because we all know he for the majority of his career he was a Hazel Green Trojan, so he had to face those guys this season, and then not winning the area championship was emotional. But like you said, you have to reset your jaw a little bit and understand. Look, we still can get to regionals. We got to go on the road, and it has to be a situation where no mistakes. You've got to play free, but you've also got to understand that this is the season on the line. And Coach, what was the key kind of to beating a Neil Barker team? It's a really physical team. A lot of times they like to control the pace. I know you like to play, a fast pace. You like to shoot the basketball. You like to give your guys offensive freedom. You like to pressure the ball. They're more of, it seems, a half-court type team. How did you guys? What was the key to that to winning that contest?
Man, preparation and being able to take away all the things that they wanted to do and all the things that they do best, and buying in and locking in defensively and having a different type of mentality. Going into that game, that halftime game with that score, the score of that game was 25 to 11. It should have been 25-9. We gave up one.
Wow.
But we completely dominated them defensively on the defensive end. And that's the biggest. And we've been really good at home this year. We were 9-2 at home this year. One of the biggest statements we've been preaching, defense travels.
No, it does. And a lot of your players, what's always interesting to me is, you get kids that are also not only just playing basketball, but they're also playing football. And one of those is a kid like Courtney Hudson, who was playing cornerback for Mae Jemison. He also played a quarterback for them as well. And he comes in, he's in his senior season, and he's having a new coach coming into this. With the seniors as an entire group themselves, what was your goal with those guys when you started to take over this program and getting them to kind of buy in, even though they knew it was their last season?
And that's probably one of the toughest things when you're coming in and taking over a program. You got guys that are seniors. They're probably on their third or fourth coach.
Mm-hmm.
The buy-in has been so great that it was scary with those guys. And man, Courtney Hudson, he actually set the tone for that game on the defense end. Man, actually, with him being a senior, we've had conversations, but man, I know you're a senior. I know you want to be a starter, but man, just trust me, when the time is right, the opportunity is going to present itself. That Muscle Shoals game was the first game he started this season, but he has earned that start. Man, the kid has been resilient. He's persevered through a lot of things, had a couple injuries this season. So his senior season probably hasn't went as he would like it to go. But I think with a lot of the guys like TJ and Courtney and DeArmond, how those guys have locked in and bought in, those guys have been a big reason why our team has turned around at the right time and started becoming a player-led team.
Well, and then talk about Dakari and DK Bryant. He's had so much success. He's basically been almost a 4-year starter, really, for Mae Jemison. I know he wasn't able to affect the game in the second half against Hazel Green the way he wanted to. He made some shots, but they paid extra special attention to him. But he is very, very capable of carrying this team and a very explosive offensive player. Talk about the season he's had for you, because I just saw a little bit of a different guy starting in the summer, and I know at the officials clinic as well before the season started. He's just been playing phenomenal basketball, very confident. But I know his play tonight, later this evening, will be very important against Pinson Valley.
Yes, definitely will be. When I first got here, Dakari, and his biggest thing when we sat down and met, he was like, I just want to play winning basketball. I just want to have a chance to compete, play winning basketball.
No, that's
the preparation that we put in place.
Mm-hmm.
He's bought into it, and he understands if you want to be able to compete and play winning basketball, these are the things that has to be done, because winning has a price, and you got to be willing to pay that price daily, and the price changes daily also.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't be more well said. And then to piggyback off that, you've seen Daryl Barber in Pinson Valley quite a bit, being a part of the Huntsville program. A very athletic team, a team that's used to winning, that's won a state championship, used to postseason success. Certainly, it's a very interesting matchup, Coach. Your thoughts on matching up later at 4:30 against Pinson Valley, and what it's going to take for the Jags to advance to the Elite Eight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good, exciting game. I think it's going to be a fast-paced game, a tempo game, very competitive game. Like you said, those guys are used to having postseason success. That's one of the advantages that they have on my guys. But I think for us to be able to advance over these guys in the Elite Eight is to be able to, again, go out, defend, take away the things that they like to do, and be able to contain their best player.
Mm-hmm. And personnel wise, who has kind of stood out to you for Pinson Valley? I know they've had some roster turnover as well. It's that's the way it is. You did when you took over the Mae Jemison program. You brought in a guy like TJ Pruitt, who's been an outstanding player for you. But talk about Pinson Valley and what impresses you about him on tape, Coach.
Man, I think those guys have the mentality. They play with a lot of grit, and I also think that they have a mindset of refusing to lose. Coach Barber's done a great job with that group. I know he lost Clyde Waters early this year. A lot of people didn't expect them to be here, just as well as with us. I think it's going to be one of those things. We've always said, Swears, he reminds me constantly of, and the best team never wins. It's always the team that plays the best that day. Our goal is to be the team that plays the best today.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And as we let you get out, I know you guys have got some preparation still to finish. In your mind, what are 2 or 3 things that your team's going to have to do to get a win today over at Wallace State.
Yeah, you're going to have to be able to withstand their runs.
Right.
We're going to have to be dominant on the glass, and we're going to have to be dominant defensively from start to finish.
Coach, as we let you go, just wanted to also throw it out there. If you ever need another judge for the slam dunk competition stuff you guys did, just letting you know we're here. Okay.
Yeah, he loves your social media, man.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm in love with your social media, Coach. Trust me, not a lot of schools are really good about using social media, and so I'm sitting here and I'm watching the highlights from the dunk competition you guys did. If just in case you ever need another judge, I'm here.
Man, I think that's going to be even better next year.
Well, let me also give another shout out to a dude, one of my favorite guys. And I was so happy to see add him to the coaching staff. He's going to be serving our country. He's what basketball is about. It's with the right things. And he was a great high school player, had a really good run too at Gadsden State. But talk about Messiah Morris and what he's meant to your coaching staff.
Man, Messiah has been great. He's one of those young guys that can tap in and really relate to the our younger guys. He gets those guys in the gym a lot, pours confidence into them. Like that's really, really big, and that's really needed. And that's his way of impacting those guys. You know, he was that same kid. He know what he needed. He's able to provide that for my guys. Man, he's been my point guard, Jacoby Eddy. He's been a difference maker for that kid. You know, and speaking of Jacoby Eddy, he was a big spark going on the road in muscle shows. You know, giving him confidence. You know, everybody around the state, you know, it says what they say about little Jacoby, but man, Messiah has been like a mentor to him, like a big brother to him, and that has made a world of difference for a lot of my guys.
Well, we can't wait for I'm going to be there at Wallace State. Can't wait to watch these two games, man. We're going to see Hazel Green taking the floor against Clay Chalvo, but before that, Mae Jemison taking the court against the Pinson Valley Indians. It's going to be a great game. Great atmosphere. Also, shout out to Tim Miller and, of course, the ladies at Hazel Green. They're trying to win 8 in a row. They're going to be in action today as well. So it's going to be a great day over there at Wallace State, Hansford. Look forward to being over there in just a little bit. But, Coach, congratulations on the run in your first year to getting to the regionals. Good luck later today, and we certainly appreciate you taking some time out to talk Jaguars basketball, man.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thanks, and thank you, guys. I'll see you guys later on today.
Good luck, Coach. Telling you. I loved how open he was about, look, you have to get the seniors bought in.
Yeah.
I mean like,
because he actually, you know, he had, it's an older squad, even though they'd had a lot of turnover. He is their fourth coach. And so that's tough in some ways, you know, and so they've had Howard Pride did a really good job there, but he's now with East Hamilton in Tennessee, and he moved on, and Pete took this over. And I mean, Pete's a young coach himself, but he relates really well to players. He absorbed a lot from Huntsville High and Christian Swears, and to get this team to this point, and then to go on the road after such a tough second half where they didn't play their best basketball, and you know, and Hazel Green wins that area title, which is, I'm sure, very disappointing. But to bounce back, reset your jaw, as I was saying, and go to Muscle Shoals, which is a tough place to play.
Yes.
And then just destroy them. Huge credit to Pete Miller and his coaching staff.
Absolutely. Because these players are going on their fourth coach. They've heard it all before. You know, I want to be here. I want to build the program, all this other stuff. And they're like, yeah, sure. The last three guys told us that too before, you know, I'm sitting here as a senior, but we have the phone lines open. We're going to tell you that every single time because we've got a couple lines available, 256-576-4977 as we continue on this Thursday. Drew DeArmond, Joe Hunk in for Scott Tyson on Talking Ball at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck in Morgan County, Cave Spring Road and Bethel Road. Got a couple of injuries involved in that one. Still got a major backup on 565 eastbound. Got a wreck up near Glen Hearn. They've got the left lane blocked up there. They're pushing all the traffic over off to the right shoulder. So it's going to be a while before that clears up. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350 Care. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talon Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talon Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256-503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's talenthac.com. No ID required.
That's Talon Heating and Air. Keeping your Valentine's extra warm with love. Courtesy of Talent Heating and Air.
Oh, yeah.
Buckhorn Youth Sports was created in 2018 to provide kids in our community the ability to compete at every sport possible. We offer football, flag and tackle, cheer, volleyball, wrestling, basketball, baseball, and softball. You can find us on Facebook at Buckhorn Youth Sports, where we prepare the future. Buckhorn Youth Sports is a proud supporter of Buckhorn High School football. Go Bucks! The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Talking ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hoggett, Drew DeArmond, Scott Tyson down at the VBC doing some wrestling. I mean, he's not actually participating himself, but he's helping with all the wrestling going on down at the VBC. So you can head down there if you're in town for that. We appreciate you hopping in. You can always watch us on WZZN TV as well. On X at 977 ESPN, on YouTube, WZZN TV, as well as on Facebook. Go to our fan page, give it a like, and you can watch us there. Comments rolling in as we continue throughout Talking Ball today. But let's head back to those phone lines, 256-576-4977. Brandon, welcome in Talking Ball, man.
The floor is yours, sir. Thank
Absolutely.
you for hanging with us.
Do you know if you go to Lawler's and get a barbecue sandwich and eat half of it, you'll still have half a sandwich?
Wow. You should tell that to Carl Ravitch.
Whoa.
That's never happened for me, but I'm just saying, but if you did.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe go have the food at Texas. I mean, I guess that makes me want to go cover a game in Austin.
If you go to Baumhauer's and you get 10 wings and you
Right.
eat 5, there's
There'll be
still 5 left.
right?
Yeah, 5 left. 5 left.
As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, I watched Moulton eat a lot of those last night. It was we were at Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
The math holds. The math holds.
All right.
And if you get a mortgage with Frank Ewing Mortgage, you got the best deal in town. So we'll just put it like that.
Yep,
So,
there you go. Frank Ewing Mortgage. We appreciate John Kendall and his sponsorship of 97.7 The Zone and high school basketball. Former coach himself, loves high school athletics. His son's a part of that Hazel Green program under Jeremy Crutcher, by the way. So I'll be watching for him in the future. Hey, great job of grit by the Spring Garden ladies there, Brandon. I wasn't in attendance, but I watched it on NFHS live from Jacksonville State. And to have Ace sprain her ankle in the first half, and then you could tell she was having to gut it out. And by the way, you kind of called it on the show. You said Winterboro is supposed to be tough. We're headed into Jacksonville State, and they were the number 3 team in the state. They hadn't lost since December the 13th.
Good heavens.
But and they were very long, very athletic, but a lot of good basketball played by the Spring Garden ladies.
yeah, the Winterboro girls were physical.
Yes, very much.
They know how to get up in your face. When Ace got hurt, I'd say my heart skipped 1 beat, but it was more like about 5 seconds. But he got up like a man and showed everybody in that building what she's made of, and let there be no question. Her dad was trying to get her to come out of the game.
Right.
Absolutely no chance. 1 leg, peg leg, no leg, we balling. Because that's what she does. So did Olivia Law. So did Maggie Jarrett. They did their part. They ran a physical fight. It's what I call a plastic butter knife fight to the death in that game. And when she got hurt, Winterboro took it up a notch. I mean, those girls, they've been proud of themselves. They can play some physical basketball. All up in your face, run up and down the court. Very well coached. I don't know who that coach is, but he's done a really good job of teaching them physical basketball. So Tuesday's going to be the day. It's going to be Ider and Spring Garden. It's going to be a really big ball game. We're out of school over here, so I'm taking a van load. There's going to be a pile of us inside that place trying to get in. So really, really, really looking forward to that. And I wanted to ask Joe, is there a tire height requirement for the truck parking at the baseball games? Like, do you have to have at least 37 to be invited, or is it little trucks?
No. I mean, you just got to have a truck that's big enough to look over the fence. That's the only, the issue. You just got to be able to look over the fence. I mean, look, I mean, I don't know how many of us are on this now tailgating, adventure to try to pack out Charger Park with nothing but trucks. But I mean, yeah, you only get, now tomorrow's going to be a double header. So, you want to make sure that you got your grill on the back of the truck as well. So I don't know if that cuts into how many people you can have on the bed of the truck, but I mean, it's going to be cool. I mean, look, our record last week was 10. So I'm trying to see if we can outdo that this week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it was like Marty McFly trucks were allowed, or if you got to have 44s and boggers. I was just making sure if there was a requirement there.
Oh, no. I mean, the 44s and boggers, that's going to give you a nice view that you can actually look down onto the fence. So it would be one in which that you're looking down to the field, kind of like you're like in the 4th or 5th row of a baseball stadium.
Nice.
Yeah. You're sitting in the outfield.
And Drew?
Yes, sir.
Over the years, if he ever wrote a book and the truth was told, how many jobs you think Ricky Austin has been offered and turned down in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years, especially considering that if he moved, his family would move with him. I would say over under of 25.
Yeah, there's literally no telling how many jobs that man's been offered, and he is a steadfast staple of that community. And you got some coaches that it's not about the money, it's about where they want to be, and that guy's a shining example of it.
Well,
because there's no telling where he could have went and what money he could have took if he'd have wanted to.
He could have rode that train as high up as he potentially would have wanted to.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, they're not far from the state of Georgia, so I'm sure some Georgia schools knew about Ace and could have attracted him over there. And the thing is, he's been such a staple. I mean, he could have double dipped. He could have gone to another state and coached. But here's the thing I try to tell people when you research the situation and the family. This is no question the first family of Spring Garden, and it's a very tight-knit community. But when you think about it, and was a blessing for us to be there when Ace signed with Alabama officially to do a show there. Ricky is one of the best players in the history of the school. His two sons played for him, were very good players. And then I think I can say this without any blowback at all, hardly, but his daughter and then his mother and aunt are the three greatest women's players in the history of that program.
That's absolutely true. Dana and Jana don't get enough credit.
I mean,
it's been so long, people have forgotten.
Well, they were on the
All-American.
87 team that won the first one. And, Freddie Kirby was educating me on that and saying, hey, boy, you should have seen them play. I mean, they were great. And now, her daughter and, of course, niece with her sister, of course, her twin, it's just an amazing story that mother, aunt, and now daughter / niece are the three greatest players in the history of that school and been able to build such a tradition. And they've done it even before Ace and even after her mother and aunt played. I mean, they've been great. I mean, Ricky's won a lot of championships, but it's a very special school. The term I always use when I got a chance to just take everything in and soak it in over at Spring Garden, because it was my first time ever being on their campus, is just pristine. There's a pride in everything they do. And so that's why I'm really looking forward to that game against Eider. And the Eider game is interesting, Joe, because it's the defending 2A state champion ladies that have moved down to 1A, who are taking on the two-time defending 1A champions in Spring Garden. So to me, it's 1 versus 2. And to tell you how imbalanced sometimes the regionals can get because of geography, Winterboro was the number 3 team in 1A. So the top 3 teams in the state were in the same regional at Jacksonville.
We need to discuss, and Brandon, I know you obviously pay attention to this too. We really need to start rethinking how these things are seeded. I understand you want to do it by region.
Amen.
But you have way too many games that are taking place in like the second or third round of the tournament that really should be a state championship game, but it's not that way because of the region that these teams are in.
Yeah, I'm not sure with that on this side, that side of the border, how that works, but you hate that. You hate to see a game that in some people's mind might be your state championship game in the round of 16 or the round of 8, and you see it all concentrated in that area. I just think people deserve, a little better matchup a little farther down the line, but one way or another, you got to win those games. So I guess if you win it and get past it, then you know what you're looking at going forward. But that region this year was Murderer's Row from, I would say, the round of 32 through the round of 8.
Yeah,
that's where your games are at. And so Jana Bright, we talked to her before the game started Tuesday. We're walking down the hall. My son taps me on the shoulder and points. Well, then there's Dana and Jana on the wall in the Coliseum. There's their pictures. He's like, we just talked to that lady. And I said, yes, son. And he's finally starting to realize exactly who they are. Like, he stood there and stared for a minute. He was like, wow, that is so cool. I was like, yeah, they're no stranger to Jacksonville State. So
not at all. Because by the way, she coached at Jacksonville State, Joe. So she's had an impact on the community as a player, as a high school coach, as a college coach. That family, the Austin family, is huge in North Alabama, because I still consider where they are in North Alabama very close to Gadsden. But I just like to see them, win this championship. Even though we got the folks from Eider listening, we certainly respect their program and what Jamie Pruitt and those ladies have done. They're outstanding. I can't wait for the game. But just watching Ace, watching her compete, watching these 5 seniors, because Ricky Austin was very emotional about this group. He really couldn't wait to coach them. They were about to play their first game against Springville. And by the way, Joe, to show you the excellence, pretty much all these young ladies, it's a 1A school. They played volleyball, and they're the 2-time state volleyball champions as well. They had just polished that off. And Ace Austin is the 2-time volleyball MVP, and now reigning Miss Basketball, trying to win a 3rd state championship on the hard court. So hope, and we just pray she gets healthy. I know she was getting treatment right after the game What are you hearing, Brandon? How healthy is she going to be? I bet she's getting treatment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think she's going to be locked in,
She's in
ready
class,
to roll.
getting treatment the whole time.
My phone has almost melted down, people wanting to know that, and I have purposely been quiet.
Stayed away.
I have not contacted. I feel like 48, 72-hour rule. She's going to do what she does. I don't feel like you ought to stress people out messing with them, because God knows, not just from me, but everybody else and their brothers probably, her phone probably needs an extra cooling fan in it from all the messages she's going to get from people. So I decided to stay, away from that. And I've not seen either, but I've heard that they've got 5 guards that can make it rain claw hammers. So I expect to see a really, really high-level basketball game from their team, from a guy who's a really good coach with a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad. I'm glad next Tuesday out over here we got a lot of people going, because I feel like they're going to see the premier game in that bracket. Maybe some people get mad at me for saying that, but that's just how I feel.
Hey, don't forget, though, in the 2A bracket, not to be surprised here, but the team that gave them the biggest battle in state to this point, North Sand Mountain's already advanced to the Elite Eight against Pisgah. So that's going to be another high-level game with North Sand Mountain only losing by 3 and by 5 to Spring Garden, having a chance to go to a Final Four. But we know Carrie Ellison and Pisgah, that's another tradition-rich program that's won a ton of state championships.
And I tried to post some Lawler's pictures in the Facebook chat, but it won't let us do pictures yet. I figured that Moulton may have made a judicious decision with turning the photo labels off there.
Yeah, I mean,
so, we'll see.
We're still working on that.
Joe's the techie guy. I am not. I just have a big mouth and talk a lot.
We just now got the okay to actually go back on to Facebook with live video. So we're still working through some of the bugs, because it's been about a good 2 years since we've been on there.
Oh yeah.
So we're working on everything. But no, you can go post a picture. Heck, you could just post it onto our page. It'll work just like that too.
Well, Tim Miller is a straight up gangster for coming and playing that game in Spring Garden. I just wanted to be able to put that out there to the man. Big hat tip to him. And if Scott drops any Randy Savage elbows at that wrestling today, please post a video of that too. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Brandon.
Not that wrestling.
No,
it's not that wrestling.
But we give a shout out to Patrick Harrison. That's why they're trying to repeat once again and do the double. To win the overall team title, and they've already won the duels again. So, and it was an epic battle with Vestavia Hills. But Patrick Harris, shout out what he's done at Huntsville High since coming over from Buckhorn. Man, he's done a great job, and good luck to all the young people competing over there. And it'll be a great event put on by the Huntsville Sports Commission, Joel Lamp and everyone. And Scott will be great as the voice that you're going to hear over the PA.
Absolutely. We continue with your phone calls as we keep going on this Thursday, 256-576-4977. As I just got a notification before we go to break that the SEC basketball conference could be the greatest in history, according to Jay Billis, which we just talked about. But it was, 82 and 82. We'll continue on Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy and overcast sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. We're also going to spend the afternoon dry. What a nice change of pace across the Tennessee Valley. We are going to be cooler, though. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks could see the lower 50s. It's going to be a cold night across the area. We're dropping into the mid and upper 20s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Atlanta Braves spring training is on from Florida, and this 2025 Brave squad is ready to get after it in Northport.
And he waylays this thing way downtown. Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field, heading towards the gap. That is down for a base hit. Acuna hits the bag at third. Here he comes, Michael Harris, taking no prisoners. It's a sweep.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
If you're missing someone from your office this morning, chances are really good that they're caught up in that major traffic jam on 565. It started with a wreck up near Glen Hearn. It's been backed up past Greenbar for most of the morning. Picked up one Sparkman in University, not much to it. One at University in Providence, Maine, though, did end up being an injury type. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The Havoc Hour with Joe Hunk. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Live from Zambruski's Tavern inside the Huntsville Iceplex. Only on YouTube at WZZN TV.
Final 20 minutes of Talkin' Ball. Joe Hunk in for Scott Tyson as he's down at the BBC right now, and Drew DeArmond. It'll kind of be the same way. Scott's going to get everything kicked off. I'm going to come in relief tomorrow morning as well, as he's going to be back down at the BBC.
Yeah, you're going to be a Craig Kimbrell.
That's basically what I am. Is I'm just going to come in and just finish off the last little bit of it. And we're just going to be done.
By the way, he should be a Hall of Famer. I'm just going there.
1,000% he should be a Hall of Famer. And again, it's his career. He had ups and downs. Him in San Diego, nobody even thinks about that. No, but he's had different periods of time, and now obviously he's still not the same closer that he used to be, but he should 100% be in as a Hall of Famer. But as we're taking your phone calls at 256-576.
Hey, I can just tell you, I've already gone on this show and told you I saw Phillip Rivers' first varsity high school game, which was a scrimmage over at Hartselle High School against Shades Valley and Mayo Soul, who played linebacker for Auburn. And of course, Athens looked very, very good that day. And I just remember thinking, this is a big time QB. He was a junior at the time. He waited till his junior year, but he was an outstanding player. But I can tell you this is how old I'm getting. But from what you were just saying, but I saw Craig Kimbrell's first warm-up in Double-A baseball for the Mississippi Braves against the Huntsville Stars.
See, wait, what year was that?
Well, all I can tell you is the years are fuzzy.
No,
right?
it is. They are.
But I can tell you that a certain dude named Jason Hayward hit one over the scoreboard for the Mississippi Braves. So I believe they were still the Mississippi Braves at that time, because I know they underwent some changes. But I was invited to the game at the last minute, and I knew they had Jason Hayward, who was considered a freakazoid prospect. He got a 3-0 green light. He hit it over the scoreboard.
Good heavens.
And then a future Hall of Famer was playing first base. He went 0 for that night, but I wanted to see him as well, a dude named Freddie Freeman.
I was wondering
who was playing first base. And then I had strong speculation that Craig Kimbrell had been called up, which he had.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made a prediction. I said, he's going to be so excited that I'm sure this warm-up is going to be very interesting. And he did hit the backstop.
Heck yeah,
pitch.
just a bit outside.
Halfway up there. But Butch Weaver was behind home plate. His family was behind home plate. And then he went out and threw 98 miles per hour and got the save. So in his first Double-A appearance.
So he got moved up to Double-A in 2009.
Yep.
With the Mississippi Braves there. He ended up with 2 wins, 1 loss, but he also, looking at it, had 6 saves that season. His ERA with Mississippi was .77.
And this is good karma, because we all know he played for the great Butch Weaver at Lee High School, but his 2 years of college were where I'm headed later this afternoon, Wallace State.
Wallace State.
He signed with the University of Alabama, never made it there because his second year he was what they call a draft and follow, but he went in the 3rd round.
Yep.
And then the rest is history.
Yep. On that team, Jason Hayward was playing there in 2009. Freddie Freeman, like you were talking about there as well. Freddie Freeman, that season, he played in 41 games. He only had 2 home runs.
Yeah.
Jason Hayward ended up having 7 home runs that season for the Mississippi Braves. So that was 2009. Brandon Beachy was also on that 09 team as well for a good little bit. You talked about Kimbrell, but there's Johnny Venters was a part of that 2009 Mississippi Braves team that came in here as well. In my period of time, I've always wanted to know, because when you're in like the Huntsville area and you're playing baseball all the time and playing basketball and all these, you play against a ton of different opponents and you have no clue at who half the people are, mainly because whenever I was playing, I had no idea, because there wasn't the PA announcing and the music and everything like there is kind of like now. So we never knew really anybody's names. And I really would love to go back and look at the rosters of all the teams that I played against here in Huntsville, because I would love to see if Kimbrell and I ever actually did play against each other, because we're separated by about 4 years, but that would have meant like when I was a senior, he was a freshman type thing. And I would love to see if there was a point in time through all of the travel ball and everything that he and I both did, if we ever actually played against each other.
Yeah, because people forget you were a UAH Charger and you were an outstanding player at New Hope High School. And the thing is, people also should not forget under the great Butch Weaver that the top 2 pitchers when Craig Kimbrell was a senior at Lee High School, both of them ended up in the major leagues.
Yes.
Craig Kimbrell and Buddy Boshears. Boshears, of course, went to Calhoun Community College, was going to play for Bobby Pierce at Troy, but got drafted. And we all know he made the show as well. So that's a pretty amazing thought right there.
I was actually, when I was going to go to UAH, I was looking at playing for Pierce, and then he went to Troy.
Right.
I'm like, dang it. Come on.
Yeah.
He went to Troy. So, yeah. So no, those is kind of the history there. But when we wrapping things up, when we come back on Talking Ball, as well as we keep going, because right after Talking Ball, we've got the Blitz, Tom Abraham, you've got the Drive, UAH basketball later on tonight, all of that on 97.7 at ESPN, The Zone. Phone lines open for the next few minutes as we wrap everything up. 256-576-4977 as you listen to 97.7 at ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If you're missing someone from your office this morning, chances are really good that they're caught up in that major traffic jam on 565. It started with a wreck up near Glen Hearn. It's been backed up past Greenbar for most of the morning. Picked up one Sparkman in University, not much to it. One at University in Providence, Maine, though, did end up being an injury type. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Scott Theisen down at the VBC for the Alabama State High School Wrestling Tournament. He's going to be there tomorrow as well, as that's going to wrap up on Saturday. So Joe Honke in for Scott for the next little bit before the Blitz gets going with John Abraham and myself at 9 o'clock. Drew DeArmond here, and I almost want to say that the headlines tomorrow that we're saying today will be the same thing that the headlines are for Saturday that we're going to be talking about tomorrow, and that's the #1 team in the nation playing the #1 team in the nation, right?
Yeah, well, we've talked about 50-50 all game.
It has been 50-50, yeah.
I should say, excuse me, all show. So why not just talk about the polls being split as well, 50-50?
Yeah, everything is 50-50 here. It is every bit of it is. So yeah, that's.
And I'm gonna give some shout outs too here because we've talked about Mae Jemison and the boys playing at 4:30 today. The Hazel Green Trojans boys playing at 7:30. But Tim Miller, who's done an outstanding job with that program, they are going to take the floor today, and they will be in action over at Wallace State Hanceville. So we wanted to give them a quick shout out. They will be taking the court. They will take the court against the Gardendale Lady Rockets at 6 o'clock. The other girls match up, and hey man, if you're going to be over there today, you better get there early because both these schools are nearby, and one of them is in the back door, as they say. With the back door being a Smoking the Bandit reference due to the birthday this week of the great Burt Reynolds. But Coleman will be taking on Hartselle. That game will be at 3 o'clock, so that'll bring a lot of folks. And a 5A game I'm very interested in seeing on boys action, the Gunnersville Wildcats against East Limestone and Jake Moran. East Limestone is a very good basketball team. I've seen them multiple times this year, including a very good showing against Huntsville High in the N2 Hoops Invitational. So good luck today at 1:30, Gunnersville, East Limestone. And as we said, Coleman Hartselle at 3. Before that, the Scottsboro Lady Wildcats, who played Hazel Green extremely tough. They are going up against a perennial regional participant, Priceville, the Lady Bulldogs. And, of course, at 10:30 a.m., 5A boys, Arab is going to take on Brewer. The Patriots having a really good year on the boys' side. And then to kick off in a couple of minutes, the Arab ladies against West Point. And that's another team in Coleman County that's in the backyard. So there's going to be some great action over at Wallace State today, Joe.
Absolutely.
And we will be there at 97.7 The Zone. Looking forward to seeing a lot of that action. And we look forward to all those young people getting a chance to play on that big stage. And it's a thrill, man. It's memories you never forget.
Oh no, and I think that even with this I've kind of made the swap over to baseball mode. Just right. I mean, even high school baseball starts today. Like even in the state of Alabama, there are a ton of high school baseball games that their opening day is today for them. It's this period of time that was always so much fun to be able to travel with the teams. And even when it was the sub-regionals that you're going to different high schools that you've never been in before and everything like that, as you're trying to get to the final 48, or on the women's side, what we call the final 47 in Hazel Green, it is always going to be something that everybody is so ecstatic about. And I love that the cities, like what Brandon was talking, hey, we've got a whole group of people.
Well, see, he's talking about now. I'm going to say Brandon's taking it to the next level now. His van full is from Georgia.
Yes.
They're making the trip over the state line. But real quick, too, Jacksonville State 4 games today, and it's going to be 4A action. Cherokee County and Plainview, 9 a.m., about to tip off girls action. The boys at 10:30, Alexandria and Plainview on the boys' side. At noon, Alexandria and Madison Academy, ladies. And then 1:30 p.m., Hopes Bluff. Shout out to Tom Berryman and the Madison Academy boys. They will play at 1:30 against Hopes Bluff, so we'll be rooting them on as well.
Absolutely, as that does it for us. Drew and Scott will be back tomorrow morning starting at 7. I'll come in relief, have the Guns N' Roses ready to go, John, as I am now the Craig Kimbrell of 97.7 ESPN The Zone as the Blitz gets going next.
AL certain number 21014.
Are you trying to keep your house hot and steamy this Valentine's Day? Talent Heating and Air has just the moves to make it happen.
That's right. We'll turn that raw gas into heat in your house.
So don't let that love of your life be left out in the cold this Valentine's Day. Keep it warm with Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, the love line is open.
256-503-4490.
And on the World Wide Web.
That's Talent